Happy January, friends. I cannot believe it's January, let alone almost the middle of January, and we are getting back into the swing of things. I thought I would use today's video as an opportunity to address one of the most common questions or thoughts that come into my DMs. And it's, I want to wear makeup. I really don't anymore because I don't know what's going to look good on my skin. I don't know how to mix and match different products. And really, I just want something fast and easy, but mature skin friendly, because the products that I used in my 20s are no longer working. So the purpose of today's video is really for the either beginner to makeup or somebody who once wore makeup and doesn't either have the desire to go through all of those same steps or those products simply aren't working anymore. So I'm gonna talk to you about the easiest 4-step process for a your skin but better look. Because there's also one other thing that people talk about. When they go to Ulta or they have somebody do their makeup, they buy all the products, they get them home, and they don't remember how to use them, what quantities, what order, and they end up taking it back. Or they've had their makeup done before and it doesn't look like them. Because one of the realities that we rarely think about is when you are not wearing a lot of makeup, or maybe none at all, and somebody does your makeup for a wedding or for an event, or you simply go to Ulta or the department store to get your makeup done, you now have a full face of makeup on and it doesn't look like you anymore. That's where I come in. So if you are interested in learning more about a very simple 4-step process that is 100% mature skin approved, it's gonna take away the darkness, the age spots, the redness, but it is absolutely gonna look like you, and it's going to be able to be achieved in minutes on the daily, then stick around, this video is for you. I will be the first person to tell you, as somebody who loves to test and try all different types of makeup, there's really good makeup on the market right now. 7 years ago, when I started wearing this, there was not nearly the quality of formulations outside of what I was getting with Saint in other products. So there are definitely other products that you may love and you can simply incorporate them with this routine. But if you're somebody who's like, I don't want to even have to determine what goes with what, just tell me what to do in the simplest way possible. Like, this could be your entire makeup bag. This is all you would have to travel with. This is all you need on the daily, and it is very affordable compared to what you're going to find either high-end at Ulta or basically across the board at Sephora. So let me jump in and show you what I would consider the simplest makeup routine for somebody who wants to wear makeup because, well, one, they want to feel a little bit more confident and a little bit more put together, but because now they have things on their skin that are bothersome to me. The first thing you are going to do is get a color match. Because another issue that people have, myself included, until I really started studying color theory, was I don't know what color to buy. So a color match is something that I will take care of for you. I will tell you what colors you need. And if after watching this video, I will put the color match in the description box as well as in the comments below. If you want this routine, this simple 4-step routine, fill out the color match, and at the bottom there's a box that says, is there anything else that you want me to know? Just say, I want the simple 4-step routine from your YouTube video, and I will know exactly how to color match you. Because this is just the basics. This makeup system can be everything under the sun that you wanted. But for somebody who's new, who doesn't want to be overwhelmed and just wants their skin but better, that's what this routine is going to be. It's going to be 4 makeup tins, a setting powder, and 2 eyeshadows if you want them. This is simply a matter of preference, and we're going to do it all with your finger and 1 brush. So let's get started by me telling you what most people tell me is the reason that they want to wear makeup at this stage of the game. I'm 43 years old, and most people, kids or 35 over, have something on their skin that is bothersome to them that they just want to reduce the discoloration of, and it's almost always under eyes and dark spots. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tap into this makeup, and this is a cream makeup. Now there is a lot more cream makeup on the market, especially with bronzers and blushes and things like that, than there was when I started with Saint. This was one of the few like cream foundations, and still is one of the very few full cream foundation systems, and especially one that's customizable, that I know of. But when people first heard of cream makeup, they were nervous that cream meant like stage makeup, like something that was going to be cakey, that was something that was going to be heavy, and this is not that. So what we're gonna do first is we are going to just tap with our finger into our color corrector, and you're gonna see, this is a Color Science choice by me. This is not my skin tone. This is a orangey color that's going to tone down the discoloration that I have on my skin first. And by taking care of the discoloration that we have on our skin first, then we can simply apply a more traditional foundation shade to the skin and be ready to go. So we're gonna take care of the dark circles. I'm just gonna tap this on to where you see a lot of that acne scarring that I had. I had a really, really rough, like 2-year bout with hormonal acne, and I have a ton of scarring from it. I'm also gonna use this to color correct my eyelids. Do you see all of the blue and purple in my eyelids? That is one of the main reasons that, like, if you put some eyeshadow on, it doesn't show true to tone, and that's because we have discoloration on our eyelids. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna color correct my eyelids, I'm gonna tone down the discoloration on the face, and that is literally going to be step 1 of this process. Now remember, we are doing our skin but better. If you are somebody who does not wear a lot of makeup and you go in and you get a full coverage foundation, you're instantly going to feel not like yourself. Now the cool thing is, once you kind of get into the swing of learning this makeup, you can build it up. You can do more of a medium coverage. We can add things like brighteners and illuminators and all sorts of different products to the routine that you may become a makeup girly. But for somebody who's getting started, the change is going to be subtle. That's why I'm going to leave this side of my face undone, and this side of my face, I'm gonna show you this system. So I took my finger, I warmed up the creams, and I kind of put it where I wanted, and now I'm using the small end of this pilot brush. Guys, the pilot brush is a 4-in-1 brush. So it comes together and you have 4 different tools that you can use from one brush. And we are gonna do our entire face and our eyes with just this one brush. For somebody who's getting started, you don't need a ton of options. You need to learn one brush, one makeup routine, and once you feel confident with that, you can do that forever, or you can choose if you want to do something a little bit more. So I'm removing the discoloration around my nose, around my lip. I have redness on the chin, and I just spot corrected the hormonal acne and added a little bit of color correction specifically to this eye bag just to tone it down. Do you see the difference from here, the redness, the discoloration, the depth that we have here to what we have here? Now I'm gonna pop my brush right back together, and I'm going to go to the large dome end, and I'm gonna go into what is my more traditional foundation shade. Now what I want you to see is I'm not digging or anything like that. I'm literally just tapping on. You'll see the smallest amount on the bristles, and I'm going to start pressing this onto the skin. I'm not gonna swipe or swirl, because what I don't wanna do is move my color corrector. I want this to melt into my skin as a second layer to that color corrector. Tap, tap. So I'm just going a little bit at a time. And because this product is buildable, if I want more, I can go ahead and tap, tap a little bit more until I'm satisfied with the coverage level. Now, Saint sells a bunch of different palettes. I mean, all the way up to like 27 products. This right here is called the palette 8. It's going to fit 8 full-size tins, or a combination of 2 small ones equaling 1 full size. So you'll even have room in the middle for growth. If you want to add some eyeshadows down the road, all of this is magnetic and customizable. So as one product runs out, you simply pop it out and you replace it with a new one. You don't need an entire new compact. It's so cool. Like I said, there are fun and cool makeup products out there, and you're gonna see those on my channel because I get a lot of questions about, what skin tint would go with my Saint palette, or, do you have a recommendation for this or that? And over the course of my life, I have loved makeup until my skin really changed. And not only did it start to show some significant signs of aging, but when I had kids, I also developed hyperpigmentation, and then about 4 years ago had just the most awful stint with hormonal acne. And I got rid of everything else that I use and only use this because it just does something to the skin where it doesn't dry out. It always looks like your skin, but better. It covers without making me look not like myself. It is highly affordable, and like when I wanted to try a new shade or a new makeup product, I didn't have to take a whole lot of risk. I could just pop one of my tins out and pop a new one in, and I've never looked back. So when it comes to making a recommendation to somebody, particularly, I say 40, but what I mean is somebody whose skin is just not performing like it did before, because that's just what happens as we age, and really that can happen at any age. It's almost always going to be this one because of the versatility of the product. So I want you to see, we color corrected and we pressed on a little bit of our main highlight shade, which is your traditional foundation shade, and this is the difference. This is my skin with nothing, and I have the same scarring, the same discoloration. You will see I have texture under the eyes, like I have real normal skin. But this is what it looks like with just those two products. And if I wasn't talking, that would have been like 2 minutes. So step 1, color correct. Step 2, bring everything back to your skin tone and kind of create an even skin tone all over with your highlight shade. And now I am personally going to encourage you to do bronzer over something like contour because of the ease of use. So bronzer is going to be a little bit more sheer in the Saint product line, and it's going to be a warmer product. Contour is meant to truly sculpt the face in a way that emulates natural shadow. So if we're talking about like true contouring, we're talking about using something a little bit cool toned to emulate natural shadow. Bronzer is going to also shape the face, but not as drastically, but it's going to add warmth. And as we age, our skin tends to dull out. So if I had to make a recommendation of if you wanted it as simple and user-friendly as possible, but you still wanted to add a little bit of dimension so you didn't have a flat face, my recommendation would be bronzer over contour, and that's going to be the third step. I'm gonna go around the perimeter of my forehead. I'm going to go right up here in that cheek area, and then if I wanna make sure that everything's matching, I might pull a little bit down the neck. I can even chisel underneath my jawline a little bit, and I'm still using the same brush. I had very little residue from the highlight, and now you'll see there is like next to no residue from the bronzer because these creams are not cakey. They literally just sit on top. It almost feels like you're dry brushing your face. Now, if I wanna clean up this line a little bit, I'm gonna go right back to my highlight shade, and I'm just gonna press a little bit here to make that bronzer just look a little bit more sculpted, if you will. And that's it. I can then even take like the corner of my bronzer and throw this onto the eye. And if you're somebody who doesn't wear a lot of eyeshadow, do what I just did. Color correct your eye, add a little bit of your main highlight shade, and take a little bit of your bronzer just in that outer corner and up into the crease just a little bit to add a little bit of dimension, and you basically have created an eyeshadow look. So you'll see here I have that discoloration on my eye. Here it looks like I have a lighter lid and have carved out my crease, almost like creating an eyeshadow look without actually having to wear any eyeshadow. Now we're gonna move into the final step, step 4. We're going to take a little bit of a cream lip and cheek, and this is nude. And I chose nude because nude is one of the most popular requested shades. When I color match, it'll ask you, do you like pink? Do you like peach, red, nude, mauve, all the things. And typically, almost everybody likes nude, if not a multitude of other things. But what I'm gonna do for somebody with a mature face who has strong smile lines is I'm gonna go 2 fingers outside the nose, and I'm gonna go from the outside apple of the cheek up towards my ear, just to create a little bit of a lifted look to the face. Now we've added just a touch of blush, and you could build that up for more. But again, remember, we're going your skin, but better. For the person who does not wear a lot of makeup and doesn't want to put it on and be like, oh my gosh, it doesn't look like me. This is gonna look like you, with just a little less of some of this. So there we have it. And then if you'd like, you can use this on the lips as, a lipstick, or we have gloss formulations if you prefer a gloss. But for something that you're gonna throw into your bag, it's so easy to reapply because literally you can just throw this entire thing in your bag. So what is left at this point? All I'm gonna do is flip to the other side. Something that's important to remember, cream makeup is emollient, meaning it doesn't have that dry out factor, which is why your skin is going to continue to look hydrated with a little bit of glow. It's not gonna look sweaty, it's just going to look like skin. Like you'll see my skin here. While it's the winter and I am dry, I did a little bit of skin prep. So I do have some glow, and this is not gonna take that away. But it's also not going to set down because it doesn't have that dry out factor. So you're gonna wanna set the creams in areas that you are prone to creasing. As somebody who has strong smile lines, under eye texture, those are the areas that I'm prone to creasing. So I'm simply gonna take the other end of the pilot brush and I'm going to dip into the Vanilla Dust setting powder. We have two setting powder options. One has a little bit more mica in it, so it's going to be a little bit more reflective, a little bit more shimmery. This is the Vanilla Dust, which does not have that same finish to it. So it's not going to be super matte. It's just simply going to set the makeup and make sure that you can keep creasing to a minimum. And if there is somewhere on your face or in the summer, you're sweatier in certain areas, or you want more of a matte finish without an actual like drying matte, which for me is the T-zone, down the nose, upper lip, and the chin, I can simply set those areas. Now I'm also going to be a little bit more generous and I'm going to set the creams that were on my eyes. Simple, easy peasy eyeshadow. If you're somebody who's like, I want a little more than that, but I don't want anything difficult. What I would do is I would take a medium tone matte shade to carve out the eye. And I'm gonna show you three options. And then something just very soft on the lid and you are done. So because our palette is magnetized, I can just pop in and out any shades that I want. So I'm gonna give you three options and it'll be based on your preference. If you're somebody who likes a warm shade on the eye, this is Bubba. If you're somebody who prefers something a little bit more neutral and a little bit more cool leaning, this is Basic. So we have Bubba, which is more warm, and Basic, which is a little bit more neutral, but it does lean cool. And I know I have a lot of lovers of a mauve. So the third option is going to be Lullaby. It is going to be a little bit more cool, but it is going to have a little bit more of that mauve undertone to it. And I'm going to reopen my pilot brush, and these are the brushes that I'm going to use to finish off the eye look. I'm gonna take this larger, fluffy end, and for today, I'm just going to dip in to Basic. I'm gonna pack the brush, I'm gonna remove any excess, and now, because I have a hooded eye and a deep set eye, and I wanna make sure I can see my eyeshadow when my eye is open, while my eye is open, I'm gonna go right above that crease, getting close to the brow, but not all the way there. And if I carve out that eye, similar to where I put the bronzer, not only is this gonna set that bronzer down, but it's going to give me a little bit of dimension, and it's going to make this eye look more open. So you see how this one looks heavier and this one looks more open? That is just the illusion of getting that shadowing shade, a medium tone matte shade, up into the crease, yes, but above the crease onto the hood. If I only put it in my crease, you would never see it because I have a hooded eye. Now I'm gonna close my eye and I'm just gonna pack a little bit of that into the outer corner, which is where I have that bronzer, helping set that bronzer, intensify it a little bit, and now I'm creating additional dimension to the eye with that same color. And I'm simply going to take, this is Drift, and it is a champagne-y shade with just a little hint of a shimmer to it. And the cool thing about shimmer, you can wear a shimmer or a glitter at any age. Don't let anybody make you feel like you can't. But something that is dark recedes. So this color here is going to push the hood of my eye back, where something that is light and bright is going to bring something forward. So if I add this to that open lid space, it's going to pop out that portion of the eye that I had remaining without anything on it except my color corrector before. So now we have a 2-shade eyeshadow look that set down the colors that we used, and you'll see the difference between how much more closed off this eye looks and how much more open this eye looks. We'll add a little bit more mascara, and literally, that's it. This is where I would start if I was somebody who was intimidated by makeup, if I was somebody who just hasn't worn it in a long time, and time in the morning is not something that you have an abundance of. Hello, 2 kids, chaotic mornings. I got you, sports mom, doing this in the car at 6 a.m. when my kids are going into their sporting events on the weekend, or frankly, just somebody who doesn't know where to start, doesn't know how to combine products. It's all the same formulation. It's color matched by me. And not only will I match you, but when I match you, I send you a step-by-step guide in written form. And if you decide that it's a good fit for you, when your makeup ships, I will also send you a video on how to set your palette up and how to apply the makeup, like step-by-step guide that you can do right along with me. So unlike when you go to an Ulta or a department store where somebody does a beautiful job with the makeup and they're telling you in the moment, you don't have to remember, because if makeup is not like your thing, it's not intuitive to you, it's not something that you play with all the time, you may not even know, like, what do I even do with that product? What's the difference between a color corrector and a concealer? Or why would I contour versus using a bronzer? Like, I got you. So if you are somebody who has had the same question or desire that I get all the time in my DMs, where do I start? I am happy to help you get started. Just fill out the color match below, hang out on my channel. You'll see an abundance of Saint videos, from the basics of the basics to, seasonal looks, troubleshooting, anything that you might be having a hard time with, as well as videos on how this makeup pairs with other products, or just in general, mature skin friendly makeup on the market. I would love to have you subscribe, hang out with me permanently. We have a good time here. We're very chill. I'm 100% honest in how I feel about the products that I bought. And for me, makeup has become something that I really enjoy again. It's my therapy. So that's a little bit about me. I'm a 43-year-old mom of two who loves playing with makeup, nerds out over color science and face shape and product formulation and all of those sorts of things. And I'll be here to share my thoughts with all of it. So happy January, friends. We are back. Minimum of a video every week. YouTube is my main platform. It's where my people are. And like I said, if you haven't subscribed already, I'd love to have you. I hope you guys have a great week. We'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.